Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Envoy, the Realist, and this is Surrealistic Studios, where the realists are real. How y'all doing today? See how I give you guys time to answer? Because I'm actually envisioning, or I'm actually imagining what you would say. Like, yeah, I'm actually doing kind of bad right now. The government is shut down. I'm a government employee. Put two and two together. I don't know. Maybe you don't have health care. You're bummed out about that because if you get sick or you break your arm or break your leg or something, you're going to have to pay out the ass. You don't want to go bankrupt trying to pay your medical bills. Maybe you got, outstanding loans. Maybe you got outstanding student loans, or, maybe your cousin's just pissing you off. I don't know. But outside of all of that, we have our so-called representatives that are supposed to be representing us that are really representing foreign entities. So I wanted to make you guys aware of this new bill that just passed the House of Representatives. It's HR 221. It was called S.1292 back in 2017 when it was introduced by Marco Rubio. Now it's HR 221, sponsored by Christopher Smith, co-sponsored. It has 87 co-sponsors. Amongst those co-sponsors, Ro Khanna, Debbie fucking Wasserman Schultz as well. So it's called the Special Envoy to Monitor and Combat Anti-Semitism Act. The Special Envoy to Monitor and Combat Anti-Semitism Act. And what this bill does is it creates a special envoy, or it appoints a person to a position in which all they do is monitor criticisms of Israel and BDS, which is the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions movement, as well as what they call, or what they describe as anti-Semitism, which the ADL, or the Anti-Defamation League, and others have labeled anti-Semitism as certain criticisms of Israel as well. So if you criticize Israel in any way, that can be labeled as anti-Semitic. So the Special Envoy to Monitor and Combat Anti-Semitism Act, or HR 221, passed the House of Representatives 411 to 1. 411 to 1. 411 to 1. That means 411 Democrat and Republican representatives voted yes to appoint a special envoy to monitor and combat anti-Semitism here in America. And apparently abroad too. So, amongst those who voted for this, I already mentioned that Ro Khanna, who was supposed to be a Justice Democrat, actually co-sponsored this bill. Amongst those who voted for this bill, some of our favorite progressives, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, that was very disappointing to find out she voted for this, as well as Pramila Jayapal, and a lot of other progressives too. Most of our progressive leadership voted for this. There was one no vote, and the one no vote goes to Republican Justin Amash, who coincidentally just voted no to give furloughed workers money after the government shutdown. So this was agreed to without objections. Like I said, this was a bipartisan bill, passed the House 411 to 1. By the way, Tulsi Gabbard actually didn't vote. So she didn't vote for this. She didn't vote against it. She abstained. Just a noteworthy tidbit there. So this special envoy, this act, HR 221, upgrades position to an ambassador rank, which requires the position to be filled by Donald Trump within 90 days. Okay? Christopher Smith, who is the sponsor of HR 221, his largest campaign donor was none other than NORPAC, which is a pro-Israel political campaign, pro-Israel political action committee. And I've told you about Strengthening America's Security in the Middle East Act / Combating BDS. That was introduced by Marco Rubio earlier this year. And as well as the Israel Anti-Boycott Act. So they're really ramping up the fight here. They're really ramping up the war against BDS. They're really ramping up the war against American citizens who choose to stand for the rights of innocent civilians that just want to live. People that just want to provide for their families and have the right, the absolute right to protest for what they believe in. We're talking men, women, children that have been killed, that have been beaten, you know, all over land, all over their right to protest and speak out against what they believe is a terrible injustice. Now, whether you fall on the side of Israel or you fall on the side of the Palestinians, either way it goes, if you're a decent person, you have to believe in the freedom to protest. You have to believe in the freedom to just be. And that's what the Israeli soldiers and the Israeli government is doing to the Palestinians. They're infringing on their right to simply be. They're taking all of their land. We all know these settlements are illegal. And whenever you bring up the fact that these settlements are illegal, you know, pro-Israel advocates will just say, you know, or they'll just brush it off, or they'll just try to change the subject, or they'll just plain say that, no, that land belongs to the Jewish people. Israel belongs to them, and Palestinians have no right to it whatsoever. And that's in the Bible. That's in their, you know, that's in their culture. That's what they believe. You know, and when you try to argue religion with somebody who's deeply religious, we all know how that goes. But nonetheless, they're killing, murdering people. They're shooting men, women, and children. They're shooting the press. They're shooting people. They're shooting journalists that are out there trying to tell the story. And we still have some politicians that say, we don't agree with what Israel's doing, but I do not support BDS. Why don't you support boycott, divestment, and sanctions? Why? That's not hurting anybody in Israel physically. That's going after the people that are responsible for the killings that are going on at the border right now. That's literally the only thing that can be done to combat that aggression. But you're not for BDS. How does that even sound? You know, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Even if you're Jewish yourself, especially if you're Jewish and you got family in Israel, you should be staunchly against this aggression and these illegal settlements. And you should absolutely be for BDS, or be for the right of individuals to support BDS. If not, you supporting it yourself. Because what they're doing is flat out wrong. There's just right and there's wrong. And that's just wrong. And we all know it, and we all can see it. It's playing out right before our eyes on a world stage. So here in America, we have American citizens that show more allegiance to foreign countries and to foreign entities than they do to their own citizens, to their own constituents here in this country. So they're ramping up the war, and they're trying to push these bills through during a government shutdown. They don't want anybody to know about this. Well, I'm going to make it my job to inform you that this is what they're doing, because I don't believe it's right, and it needs to be talked about. So let's talk about it. Go ahead, let's talk about it. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Like this video if you like. Give me a thumbs up. Show your support. Subscribe to me. Subscribe, and subscribe some more. Matter of fact, go ahead and unsubscribe and then resubscribe to your subscription. Because we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. I'm going to stay in tune with the news coming out. And we got to hold our representatives accountable for the decisions and for the votes that they make. Alexandria needs to be accountable for this vote. and any other vote that she makes. Ro Khanna, all of them. Jayapal, they need to be accountable for this shit. And we need to ask them why. Why did you vote for it? What is your reasoning behind this? Who do you work for? All right? Remember to love, peace, and light. Keep spreading that light and keep fighting. Question everything. And until next time, I see you guys on the next one, all right? Be good. I know I will.